We're live.
Good evening, everybody.
I
Hope
pressed.
we're all having a lovely, lovely Wednesday night. We will just let a few people pop into the chat, get things underway.
Get him on the
Send
going.
out the good evening all message. All right.
This is our one chats.
R1 chats. Welcome to R1 chats. That's what we do.
We chat. Usually with almost said magicians.
Magicians.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we should get a magician on now.
When do I get him
Musicians. Musicians and other people involved in the music industry is normally what we try and get on with the chats.
That is a fact.
We've got a busy few months built
Oh,
up.
yeah.
We're actually booked up.
Booking in the guests big time. But yes, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing very well. So this is Simon and Callum from R1 Chats, obviously from Region 1. If you don't know who we are, how the hell did you find us?
Yeah. That would be interesting. That would be.
If you don't know how to English. If you do know who we are, then thank you for returning. It's it's been a good week. We've had a busy week. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. But for now, we have a very special guest with us this evening. Please welcome Mr. Fred Chike. How are you doing, sir?
Gwan, I'm all right. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for coming on with us this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for having me tonight.
You're very welcome.
Good.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Callum, did you find Fred through? Is it LMS? This one?
Yeah, we've did. Yeah, I put a post out on
Fantastic.
LMS in their collab channel basically, and because we're kind of looking for guests for like just this month, and I was like, well, you look at the other posts and there's not that many replies or much going on with them, and this one just I don't know.
We went nuts.
It-
We booked
yeah.
till, like July or August or something.
Yeah, all the way until August. I've saved a few dates for things with secret
Completely
plans.
Confirmed or denied.
Yeah, and I've saved the day before and the day after Bloodstock Festival
Fantastic.
because
Cool.
we'll probably do something special then. But yeah,
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that'd be a good shout. We'll need to do something after that because that's going to be a mess.
yes.
It'll be great fun. So, Fred, why don't you, for those watching and listening this evening, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Fred Chike. I'm an Afrobeat singer, Afrofusion, basically. So, my sound is basically a blend of Afrobeats, reggae, soul, and different genres brought together to bring up my own sound, which is basically rooted in African rhythm, but carries my global influences. So
Absolutely
I'm an all-round entertainer, basically.
Cool. Absolutely fantastic, man. We've seen a few of your videos here and there, a few ads and that. So yeah, very nice to actually have you on. So I want to dive in a bit more on sort of the musical side today, if that's all right with you, because I guess myself and Callum traditionally we've been brought up with the sort of standard Western style of music. When you say African rhythms, with the backing to your beats, do you mean sort of the 5/7s, that kind of stuff, or are you talking more specifically the more how would trying to find a way to say this without being too technical that the listeners don't know what I'm about. So, I guess give us if you've got the words for it, the a description of the kind of rhythms you like to use.
Okay. Basically, like I said, my sound is rooted in African rhythms. But growing up, I've listened to different kind of music growing up, and most of my influences come from Michael Jackson. Actually, I grew up
Nice.
listening to a lot of Michael Jackson. Yeah. So basically, what I do is I fuse my sound, the African rhythms, and I fuse them with my influences, the global influences I've had together. So basically, it's a blend of Afro beats, reggae, soul, blues, R&B, hip hop, different sounds blend together just to create a new fusion sound. You understand? So that's why I call it Afro fusion.
Fantastic. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. And when did you sort of get into music? Have you always been into music, or is it more of a recent endeavor?
Yeah, I've been in music for over a decade, but I recently started putting out my own stuff.
Nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah. It feels so good to be able to just create something from scratch, doesn't it? I think.
true, true. Yeah, yeah. It feels like heaven,
Absolutely.
for lack of words to use.
No, no, I agree with you entirely. I would say so. And as we're sort of on the subject, you mentioned Michael Jackson being one of your big influences. Are there any other sort of artists and
Yeah,
bands or anything that you'd like to throw out there as influences towards your music too?
yeah. I'm an old soul basically. That's what I'm gonna say. I I do a lot of Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, yeah, I listen to Frank Sinatra a lot. Then I also love the soul rhythm, the soul guys, the old soul, new soul, and all that. You understand? So these are most of my influences. But Michael Jackson has been my major influence.
Mhm.
Major influence. Just apart from his life in music, apart from his physical life, his life in general, basically.
Mhm.
Well, I grew up listening to him, and it has been that for me.
Fantastic. Yeah, I always get reels coming up on Instagram of like different moments from live performances. Michael Jackson's coming up all the time, where like members of the crowd would even like jump on stage and just hold on to him desperately because he had such an influence on the
Yeah.
fans there. So that's always good to aim that high because I think that's about as high as you can aim, right? So. I saw a good one the other
Yeah.
day actually. So he was on a crane. So he had like a crane operation going on the stage, and one of the fans just jumped on while the crane was lifting off. So he had to sort of like grip onto the
And
muzzle.
yeah. I think I saw that reel too. Yeah, I saw that reel. You know that's the thing about him. He's human
Hmm.
and superhuman at the same time. You understand?
Absolutely.
He has that
Mhm.
humanity in him. You know, some other stars at his own level would probably have kicked whomever that was away. You understand, or
Yeah.
gotten someone to take them away. But he had that connection with his people, and this I also carry this into my music and my performances. I like to feel that connection with my fans. You understand, to have that intimate moments with them.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
basically, building something more real. It's all about the
Agreed.
emotions. Music is an emotional language, you understand?
Oh yeah,
It's a language of
agreed.
the soul.
Absolutely. Mm. Even sort of like
Yeah.
obviously we're more on the sort of alternative rock metal side of things, but we have a few songs like rock ballady sort of songs we like to throw into the mix where we have more of
Oh,
a moment with the audience and like we'll have moments
yeah.
toward the end of a set. Sometimes we'll all sort of be down on our knees with them and stuff like that and get into the crowd and stuff. So
Wow.
probably from a different perspective, but it's
Yeah.
definitely
Or
it's
shining the lights,
everything.
Yeah.
doing the lighters,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is always good.
love getting the torches out. Yeah, lighting the room up. Mm.
Oh, he's
So,
frozen. Hang on, he's
oh,
frozen.
we might have lost him. We'll make
Oh
sure we
no.
come back through. Oh.
That's an unfortunate freeze frame as well.
We're gonna get him back. Have it from our senior correspondents. That is Callum. If needs be, we'll just reconnect in a second.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah, of course.
it's always fine. We're always fine before.
Mhm.
And then the second you go live, it all goes
The
wrong.
The YouTube curse.
It is. It's the stream curse, or I don't know. Discord's like, we're gonna just do more maintenance or something.
Yeah, every time. We change days, everything.
Yeah.
Never makes a difference. I will
Did you
shoot
want
a
to
message
talk-
through and see if we can get them reconnected.
If not, we can chat about the Sandpiper show,
Yeah.
which we just played. Fantastic show over the weekend. Had a smashing night out. There we go.
Here we go. Yes, there we are. We're back in the business.
Awesome.
All good. Sorry about that. We're back all together. Right, Callum. So the format of the show, Callum tends to have a bunch of preordained questions and stuff like that. Once we've sort of had a bit of a chat, I'll pass you over to Callum. Callum, have you got some musical questions, perhaps?
We've got some. We've kind of gone over.
Mhm.
Well, one of maybe a few of them, but
Yeah.
how would you describe your live performances you do?
Okay. I would use a couple of words. I would say intimate, emotional, and powerful. Because like I said earlier, I aim to connect with the soul of every person in the room. You understand? To give each person a personal experience of the whole show, whether it's joy, vulnerability. I just want them to feel something. You understand? Basically, that's
Absolutely.
that's what it
Fantastic.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had an experience one time. I was singing. I think that was at a holiday park. I was singing, and there was an old veteran there. Then he stood up and he had tears in his eyes. I had to walk down to him and I sang to him more personally. And after, when I was done, he gave me a hug, and I think that was one of the realest hug I've had in a while. You understand?
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt surreal.
Mhm.
It felt so more valuable than the payments I get. You understand?
Of course.
It's the experience. It's all
Yeah.
about the experience.
Very fulfilling moments like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
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 That's why we still do it, isn't it? A lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, it's definitely not for the money at this point.
No.
Not getting any. Yeah. Yeah.
It's always like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
when you go
fantastic.
to a show and they're already wearing your shirts or whatever, like a place we've gone back to, and they've come back to see us again, even though we're just doing like a little support
Wow.
slot, and
It's
Wow.
genuinely
it's quite
heartwarming.
nice.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives meaning to the craft we do. You understand? Most times, for independent artists, it's not easy all the time because when you have a new song, you need to promote it and all that, and that's it takes a lot of cheddar. So when you have events like this and you feel people feel your craft, you get to transfer that feeling into your audience. It's divine.
Hmm.
I think that's the word.
Absolutely, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if I talked about this one on stream or not, kind of, but I used to have this recurring dream about a performance. It was just at a local venue near us, but it was a bit of a trippy dream, like really trippy. It was like we were on stage performing one of the songs. I don't think it was even a song we've written, to be honest. But it was like there were beams of like different coloured lights coming out of everyone's heads, going toward the stage, and then out of our heads going to them. And it's a bit mental sounding, right? But I do sort of see it that way because like everything's waves, man. Like it is true. I feel there's something to it. I don't know. It was like a visual representation of what I felt like we were doing when we sort of manipulate sound waves and make them feel waves. Hopefully, they don't know they can feel. That's yeah, bit of a weird outlook, but it's a good recurring dream. I still have it every now and then.
That's
It's
good.
a good one. Very colourful.
When you had this experience, was it an out of body experience or a dream?
No, just a regular dream. I have very weird dreams on a regular
No,
occasion. I've got one about a flying speedboat that's on all the time as well, but I don't know what that one's all about. I get this one, but the flying speedboat's just it's weird. It's like going over Swanage. I don't know. Anyway, I'll
maybe.
send it back to Callum. I won't derail us this early on.
What am I supposed to say after that?
Yeah.
We'll just hard segue. We won't even try and segue. We'll just hard cut into it.
Yeah, hard cut. 0 edits.
So do you prefer doing covers or do you prefer like doing your own originals?
Okay. I've done a lot of covers here and there, especially when I'm connecting with my audience. You understand? There are different age groups. I look at when I have an audience, I look into my audience and see the kind of music. I try to envisage the kind of music that they would appreciate. You understand? So
Yeah.
I try to give something to every single person there. You understand? I do the 60s, 70s rock and roll, blues, reggae. You understand? Just swing, then some rock music. I love Aerosmith, and
Nice.
I love I love Aerosmith a lot. Then I do just different things for everyone, but I also mix it with my own songs.
Mhm.
You understand? So when
Okay.
I've done the covers for the diverse audience I have, then I put in my originals. You understand? For it's more like an introduction to my song, because my songs tell stories of my life and my heritage.
Mhm.
So they carry some kind of weight and purpose. So I do the entertainment, then I bring the message.
Yeah.
So it's
Wonderful.
like
Yeah,
a
and
sandwich effect. Yeah.
yeah, and absolutely, you can sort of hopefully also ingratiate your sound in with the covers that you're doing and whatnot. So it
Yeah.
introduces the idea of what kind of thing you're doing, I suppose. Also,
True. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I bet that's a good live show. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. It's something you kind of do, Simon, it when we, because Simon normally does our set lists, but we normally look at what kind of show we're playing and where we're going to be like, oh, the other bands we're playing with are slightly heavier, and we kind of do have that. We have some not heavy songs, and we have some heavier songs.
A level of sort of variability there, and also whether we're going to do a cover or not as well. It sort of depends on the type of audience you're expecting, doesn't it?
The audience, yeah.
Yeah,
because you have to feed off the energy from the audience. You understand?
Yeah, so we're playing a show this weekend, and we were in the van the other day chatting about how we're going to build the set list. I mean, this one's kind of a competition, so it's a bit odd for us. We're not used to sort of competing with music. We're very much more a collaborative band. We'd rather every band there hangs out in the green room, chills out, has a few drinks, and like everyone's just ready to make music.
Yeah.
So it's a bit weird doing the competition side. So we're really trying to think about what's the best way to keep the crowd entertained after they've already seen a few other bands that are going to be a varied genre, and so I think if they'll let us, we'll chuck in a cover there just to sort of And also, it's on Mother's Day as well. So we're hoping we get a few mums down there, and we've got to keep them happy, you know. Like,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You have to give people what they want, yeah?
damn right, yeah, absolutely. It's finding that perfect balance between what the crowd wants and what you want to show them too, isn't it? It's
True.
yeah. Mm.
I've sung at some events where I did a couple of covers, then I just did one of my song,
Mm.
and an old gentleman walked up to me and said that my song is the best you've heard
That's awesome.
out of all the songs I did. Like, I was like, man, this is it's actually Afrofusion, and there was some kind of pidgin English. You understand? It wasn't pure English; it was Nigerian
Yes.
English. You understand? I said, this is the like, and he actually understood what I meant in the song, the message the song was trying to pass. You understand? So it's just different experiences and great experiences. Actually, it's just awesome.
That's it, yeah, and
Just
say
awesome.
even in a position where if someone might not be able to understand it, there's still the overall energy of the music and the song itself might sort of hopefully push that message forward still. Mhm. That's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shannon, back to you, mate.
When there's still people who want originals, don't we? We said it a few
Yeah.
times, haven't we? We always find
Mm.
people love our originals music, and they try and get us in, all the Sandpiper lot and the Ilfracombe Legends of Rock people. They only sell tickets because of the tribute acts, but they want to get the original
Yeah.
acts in, and they do help us out quite a lot. And the tribute acts, are
It does
good.
seem to be a real hunger. I mean, we talk about this quite a bit about sort of since the lockdowns, especially, there seems to be a hunger for something very raw and very real and sort of very,
Yeah.
I say open and honest with music. Something authentic is the word I'm looking for. So, yeah, I think since being locked
Yeah.
indoors for like a year and a half, everyone's like, let's go back outside and make sure we enjoy it. That can happen at any point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild old time.
Before we
Eh?
get locked up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Make the most of it while we can.
When you perform it almost better when it's your song.
Yeah. Well, you can embody
Yes.
the music.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's
It's
your
like-
message.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I made
that's it.
this. I made this.
Yeah.
Gonna give it
Oh, that feeling of creation is something else.
It's handy.
Something else.
What you got, Kel?
I was going to ask, have you ever played with a backing band, or have you ever thought of having like a backing band playing with you?
Yes. I've played with a couple of bands, different bands. I don't have my own band yet, but I've played with a couple of bands, and I'm actually working on a project with a band in Newcastle. I'll keep the information on the wraps till we're very ready.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a project with a band. So we're doing kind of a mashup of all my songs and some other songs and some new songs that I'm writing at the moment because I'm working towards I have a project I'm working on at the moment, which is leading to an EP. So I have a couple of songs I'm releasing. I just released a single this month, Forever, on the 15th. It's everywhere. You should have a listen. It's everywhere. All the streaming sites is right there. So next in the next 2 months, I have another song I'm gonna be releasing, which leads to an EP I'm releasing toward the end of the year. So
Amazing.
it's just a busy period for me. So there's a lot of songs coming out, new stuff coming out, and new visuals and all. So just watch the space.
Yeah, man, fantastic.
A
And
lot of things.
anyone
Yeah.
watching now or in the future, I'm going to put a link in the chat now. So please do follow Fred Chike. And there's a link tree there for you. You can get to all the streaming sites through there, and you can follow on any of the social media platforms. So the link is in the chat for you. Please make sure you do. Shannon,
The chat is flown off the screen. Hang on.
bring it back.
There's always some issue with the stream. Something new.
We'll find. Yeah, we're a very professional outfit. We know exactly what we're doing at all given times. I'm not lying.
If I can- Have we gone over whereabouts you're based, or like where your wheelhouse is? Is wheelhouse the right word?
Yeah. So where do you gig most of the time? Yeah.
Okay. I'm based in the northeast, Newcastle to be precise. But I'm all over town. I gig mostly in Scotland at the holiday parks.
Nice.
I've got lots of fans over there. Then I've been to I gig in Spain, Ireland, different places. I'm all over London sometimes.
Mhm.
So I travel. I travel all the time. Most times my wife told me to live in my car
Yeah.
because I'm always on the road. You understand? Whatever
That's
the
the way
music
to do it,
calls,
though.
Yeah, always on the road, man. So I've been all over.
That's
Yeah,
exciting.
this year, yeah,
This year mainly sort of traveling more so then. Mhm.
yeah, this year I intend to expand the horizon.
Cool. Yeah. Well, let us know when you're down southways. We're sort of down in Bournemouth, right on the south coast. We've got good
Oh, man.
contacts around sort of Bristol, Brighton, all the bees, Bournemouth, Bristol, Brighton. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's good
Bathgate.
area down here. We should look at the
Maybe I'll
Devon for the
come.
holiday parks for sure.
Yeah.
There's some good holiday
I'll come
parks
down.
up
I
there.
have a couple of gigs, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, let us know as soon as you're ready. We'll get a few people down.
Definitely.
Good.
Nice one, mate. Yeah, I think
Nice
Callum,
one,
we're
bud.
debuting in Scotland this year. Is that right? I think it's part of the Ginani tour, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know where
Yeah,
in Scotland.
Dreadnought. That's it. Dreadnought.
Mm,
Have you heard of Dreadnought as a venue?
Dreadnought,
Some,
no.
somewhere between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Doesn't really narrow it down, does it? But yeah, I think
Dreadnought, I've not heard of it.
so if anyone is watching from Scotland, you fancy some live rock music, we'll be there in May. So keep an eye out. Bit of a plug, why not? UK.
If you live anywhere in Scotland,
Yeah.
you somehow know who we are. Oh, that's where, what's it from?
What?
What's the band we played with at Lighthouse?
Oh, yeah. Which one was it? Was it Longstay that were up there?
Longstay.
No.
Longstay.
Longstay,
The,
right.
the, yeah,
Mm.
the Hour in Wales. Go see them.
Yeah, that's right.
They're in
Yeah.
Perth, Scotland, not Perth, Australia.
Yeah, the original Perth,
Is it?
probably.
Probably.
Australia's pretty new, dude. I think.
I suppose.
Yeah. That's Scotland. Whereabouts is that? That's quite. I'm using my other screen.
Well, they drove like 9 hours to get down it, didn't they? Or something?
Oh, that's savage. Yeah, because they've got to come down through whatever that says. Okay. Dunfermline and all that. Okay, I'm never going to pronounce that right, so I'm not even going to try. Cool, back to it.
So you're talking about your new single called Forever.
Yeah.
What was the writing process like for that? Is it something you've been sat on for a while, or something you just?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? All right. Forever basically is one of my personal songs. It's a very personal song, and it's mainly surrounds my relationship with my wife when we were dating. You understand? We had a lot of outside interferences. You
Mhm.
understand? Yeah. So it's basically I drew a lot of memories from that period, which led to that song. And if you look at the cover art for the song, there's an art drawing there. The art drawing on the cover is actually a picture of my wife. You understand?
Oh,
So
lovely.
it's more like yeah, it's a dedication to her basically that we're
Oh,
doing this
that's
shit
wonderful.
forever. Yeah.
There's a featuring artist on there, is that correct?
Yes, Design. He's an international artist from Nigeria. He's a brother of mine basically. So we collaborated on the songs from UK. So working on the song actually was between him and I from UK and Nigeria. You understand? So it was a collaborative effort from yeah. So we worked from every single thing we down to the sounds. It was it was crazy actually, but very very creative. We had our different spins to it, our different unique spins to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
So
fantastic. I'm
yeah.
going to get a link in the chat for that one. Anyone watching, please do check this out after the stream. So
It's on.
with regards to Forever, you sort of told us a bit about the themes and that of it. Was it long ago that you recorded, or was it more recently?
More recently. I recorded Forever last 2 months in January,
Nice, quick
and just
turnaround then. Yeah,
released it in March. Yeah, yeah.
impressive stuff. Cool. Right, chat that has just gone out into the chat, so keep an eye out. Get it open in a tab, ready for later. Be worth a listen. Fantastic song. Callum, I'll send it back your way, mate.
Hang on. He's Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
Oh, no, he's back.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Sorry. What do you do? Do you do? I was reading up. You do quite a bit other than just music. What else do you do outside of music? He's frozen again. Wait,
model, and an actor too.
Oh, here we are.
we're back, I think.
Can you hear me
I'm
now?
back
Yes,
now.
we can hear you
got
now. Yeah. I
So
think.
Callum was just asking, outside of music, what other kind of entertainment avenues do you pursue?
Yeah, I'm also an actor and a model. Basically, I find these forms of expression deeply connected to music. So they allow me to tap in for 5 years, and I've been a model for over a decade too. I've
Brilliant, nice.
done
We're just having a few
lots of
connectivity issues. One
fashion
second.
shows. Yeah.
That's very exciting, and I guess there must be quite a lot of obviously sort of fitness involved in maintaining a modeling career as well. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you're on the
Yeah.
road, how do you
Yeah.
keep fit?
You basically live on the gym.
Mhm.
When I'm on the road, I do a lot of running. And I have my dumbbells all the time in my car. So when I can steal in one or two exercises, I always try to.
That's always a good shout. Do you ever? I've tried to do this sometimes, just get a little bit of a
But
pump before going on stage. Do you
when
ever do a little
I'm
workout
back
before going on stage?
home, yeah, before getting on stage, to get a little bit of
Get a bit of warmth in the muscles,
it
get
gives you
looking a bit good.
it
Like,
releases you. Yeah.
hell yeah, dude.
Get a bit big.
There we go. I think we're back.
Yeah.
it's
We're having
it's
some.
quite surprised that connectivity issues here.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
all
good.
good.
We'll carry on as we are. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Let's come back in.
It's always like this sometimes.
Yeah, it does do that sometimes.
I mean,
I've
sometimes
definitely got bad connection here where I am at the moment as well. So it might be me.
it
Sorry.
could be. Who knows? There is
Cool.
one thing I wanted to know. I've seen obviously all the videos of models walking down the runway thing and they're doing their face.
Catwalk.
What are you thinking when you're going down the runway? It's like, oh God, the freeze. Also another unfortunate face.
We're gonna get him. Yeah, turn around in a second if we need to. Wonder if it's worth going off camera for a bit.
I don't know. Might be alright.
Okay.
Who knows? He's got the model face, so.
It is though. Hell yeah.
I don't know why.
Wait just a moment.
What do you think goes through their head when they're going down the runway?
Well, that's a specific type of modelling, Callum. I don't think most models do the runway modelling, but
Do we
I
not?
imagine it's there's going to be a lot of focus on. I mean, this is my imagination for it, but I imagine you'd have to focus on like what muscles are popping when, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's all about like image, isn't it? But have you ever done the runway modelling, Fred?
Yeah, I do. I've done South African men's. I've done Paris.
Okay.
I've done Paris. I've done Lagos Fashion Week. I've done Accra Fashion Week. I've done lots of fashion shows.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm actually catwalk instructor.
Oh, that's great. Okay, then we can
Yeah.
I need to learn. I've got a catwalk for a show
Yeah.
later this year. I need to know how to walk on it. What's your
Oh,
top
really?
bit of advice?
Basically, like I always tell my students back then, walk straight, no expressions, a stand expression, your shoulders back, and your chin's down a bit, and walk in a straight line, and that's it. So less is more. That's what I always say. Don't do too much. Less is always more.
Okay. And chew gum. No, never chew gum. Can you imagine? Oh, that's crazy.
See, if
Fantastic.
someone's like no face, no thoughts, I can't. That's impossible to me. I'll just but I can't think of anything, and I'll be like thinking of like SpongeBob or something. Yeah.
So long as you don't smile, just keep it focused and straight up. You're okay. One step in front of the other, and you're good.
Yeah.
So it was my assumption you'd be thinking about like what muscles to sort of extenuate, which ones not to. How you'd be thinking about sort of form. You're not. You sort of just going for the motion then more so.
Yeah. Well, for me, before I started modeling professionally, I had 3 months of training with my then agency, Zara International. That was the agency I belonged to then. Now I'm in Catapult Models, London.
Mhm.
So I had 3 months of training. That was about years ago before I started doing my runway shows proper professionally. And one thing my instructor then, Mr. Robo, used to say to me is that everything lies in your legs. You understand? When you're on the runway, it's all about your legs. If you can have total control of your legs, then you're good. You're totally
Okay.
good. Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah,
totally good.
I'll bear that in
Yeah.
mind for the show in November.
We'll have to get a video.
I would, I
Yeah.
would like to see that.
We'll try
Good
and
luck,
we'll
but
get a
if we can
cap.
get a sound check video, I'll get one. For you. That'll be very fun.
All right.
What song would you do it to?
What song would I do out of our
Yeah.
songs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
All of them.
Ministry,
Every
just
single
a-
still.
It goes 6-8-9-8, 6-8 12-8, back to 12-8. That'll be perfect. So that won't be confusing at all.
You could time it with your steps.
Wow.
Mm.
Bum,
Good.
bum, bum, bum.
I do a bit. You find that as a singer, you kind of need like something to give you a pulse sometimes. I don't know if you find this. Yeah. I'm off to move my feet. I march and stuff.
Especially with Ministry.
Ministry. Mm.
I've got another funny freeze face. Can you believe it?
How's it
Yes.
going? We're back. Cool. All right, Callum. Actually, no, we sort of you mentioned acting. So, what kind of acting have you done?
I've been in a movie on Netflix called Shantytown. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, not actually. Oh,
Shantytown, it's a blockbuster on Netflix. I've been on that. Then I've had my own personal publications. I have a couple of movies in time. Oma Lingua, that's is an epic movie. But most of them are online. You can check them out.
awesome. There we go. Shantytown. I'll have a look at that one. It's on UK Netflix as well. It's pretty good, actually. Yeah, check out Shantytown if you guys haven't watched it yet. Check out Shantytown. Looks good.
Or-
And have you done any sort of theatre acting as well, or has it primarily been screen?
Screen, no theater yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming soon.
Are you working on that? That's exciting.
It's coming
All
soon.
diaphragm, isn't it? All right, Callum, I'll send it back your way, mate.
I can imagine theatre acting. It must be.
I bet it's intense. All the best actors do theatre acting, though. It has to be like you look at any other sort of
Yeah.
what I consider to be the greats, like Ian McKellen, all the like anyone in Lord of the Rings. I love a lot of them. Like, big, powerful voices on these guys. You're
Voices.
like crazy. You can just
Crazy.
control a room without a
Amazing.
microphone. Yeah. It's just
Orators.
Mm-hmm. You got. I see you
sore
looking.
throat.
I
I've got-
see you looking, Cal.
I've
What
got
do
a
you got?
sore throat. So what would you say is your like main focus at the moment? Are you head first in the music or the acting, or you kind of split between the two, or or the modeling?
Music has been I've always been music from the get-go, from a very young age. So music is the mother load. So acting and modeling they come together with it. It's part of the whole act, you understand? So but I'm a musician first, then I'm a model and an actor. But it's all part of an act. It's all interwoven together. So
Fantastic.
it works together basically. So
Awesome.
it's one movement. It's one big movement.
Yeah.
But right now, most of the projects I have right now is my music. I'm working towards an EP that's coming out towards the end of the month, November precisely. So I have a couple of singles that I'm going to be dropping up in a couple of months. Interesting songs.
Cool. Definitely keep an eye out for that. And just a reminder for people watching, there is a link in chat. You can follow Fred there. Please do.
To be up to date.
Thank you.
Absolutely everything. And from music or acting or modeling, what would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
My children.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
or outside, I suppose. Out didn't even
That is a good one.
didn't even consider.
You've given the correct answer.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I call them my legacies.
Yeah, that's good, man. Perfect
So
answer.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
basically grateful. I'm basically grateful for my family. You understand, first and foremost. You know,
Mhm.
my wife, my kids, my mom, my siblings. Actually, they've been a lot of inspiration towards my art. You know, back in Nigeria, coming from an African family, I'm actually a trained medical practitioner.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, it wasn't an easy one for my dad, especially, you know, having a doctor that's well trained in medicine switching and saying he wants to do music. You understand?
Quite a
It wasn't
switch. Yeah.
something, yeah, yeah, you know, because there's this stigma around artists in general, you know, artists they don't always make it, you understand? It's amongst 100, maybe one or two or six, you understand?
Mm.
So but with the other jobs, you have security and all. So it was quite it was quite deep, but I'm so grateful that they supported me regardless,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, because if it had gone the other way around, probably I might have given up on it and I wouldn't have been here today. You know, I'm
Absolutely.
so
And
grateful for that.
I'll ask you a bit about that. So, were you practicing medicine, or was this more you were going through university or qualifications, or did you actually get on the job as well? And what was the transition like
I,
into a more artistic career?
I got on the job. I was working back home in Nigeria. I was working in the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. I was working there, and I from there I went into the secretariat, the Ministry of Health. I was working in the Ministry of Health for a while, but I even went into the banking sector for a while too.
In there.
But I yeah, I kept, you know, I've always known, even back then, but right there while I was working my corporate job, everybody around me knows that I'm meant for more than that. You understand? That wasn't my field. That wasn't my calling. Music actually was my calling. I could be in front of my computer and I'll have my headset on and I'm singing away and disturbing the whole office, you know. So
Yeah.
it became yes. So it's always been there. You understand? It's a calling that has always been there. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity to follow it up, you know.
Absolutely. And how did you come from working full time with a computer and with medicine to moving into the artistic careers, modeling, acting, and singing? How did that transition come about? Was it a sudden sort of leap? Did you just dive into it and just decide, right, no more work, I'm doing this, or it's not working at all? Or was it more that you were able to sort of wean yourself into it?
Uh, it wasn't a direct jump, you understand, and it's always been there from the beginning because I've always been singing, but not my own stuff. You know, I've been on people's songs. I've done a couple of backups. I've sung in choirs. I've done a lot of backups for big artists, you understand. But
Mhm.
I've always been in music. Then modeling too. I've always been modeling too because I got my first gig, I think, back in 2006. That was my 6 month store for Adidas back into
Mhm.
a long time ago, I think. So I've always been in the entertainment world, but I kept my day job as a means of survival. You understand? Because
Yes, yeah.
back where I'm coming from, you don't get you don't get enough of what you deserve. You understand, for your arts. You understand. So
Hmm.
I had to keep a day job, you know, to support my artistic career.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it got
So
to a
that's
point.
certainly the stage
Yeah,
we're in at this point. We're trying to sort of navigate into that. How do we make this full-time artistic career for four people? And yeah, because it's we've all got day jobs at this
it's
point, and yeah, you have to, don't you? But it's worth it.
it's quite a struggle actually. It's quite a struggle. But you know, sometimes you just have to close your eyes and do it and believe in yourself. You just take a chance on yourself, you know.
Mm.
And I'm just glad it's working out.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And are
Just
you
glad
away
it's
from the day
working out.
job now?
Yeah. No, not entirely.
Hmm.
But I'm no more in the bank or in the hospital now. So I have my own. I'm self-employed at the moment.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that gives you a bit more free
Yeah,
time then. Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
And we say free time, what we mean is time enslaved to music, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. That's really exciting, man. I think I hope I speak for us all when I say it's really difficult, but it's such an exciting possibility and potential to be able to go out there and do this and live from it. I think that would be the end goal, really.
That's the end goal, to be able to depend solely on music.
Hmm.
Music can pay all your bills and more. That's
The dream.
that's just that's unity.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Callum, have you got a few more?
We've got a few more. Um,
Fantastic.
All right, hit me. Hit me with your best shot.
what would you say is the hardest thing about being a musician, other than probably the money and trying to support yourself?
Hmm. 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 That's okay. I would say the hardest thing about music is staying true to your sound while navigating the industry that
Mm.
often wants to fit into a mold, you understand?
Yeah.
But it's very hard to stay true to your sound, to your message. You have a lot of great artists out there to compete with, not to actually not compete with them. You have your own unique thing, so you're in competition with yourself basically. But there's a lot of sound, there's a lot of messages out there, and there's a lot of influence. So sometimes it can be very hard to stay true to what is actually yours. You understand? But the reward of connecting with people on a soul level makes the challenges worth it.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I suppose also, just to add to that, you kind of got that the difficulty of navigating the industry and also still having a vision for your sort of true north as well, because that message could get not only just like maybe co-opted by an industry, but more you could lose it yourself by being distracted by the industry as well. So
True,
keeping that in
true,
mind as well is very difficult,
true,
I'd say. I don't. My
true.
answer to that one, Callum, was just going to be like the late nights and the night driving, but I think that's much better. So we're going to stick with that one. I think.
Oh,
Or the like
awesome, shit.
going
Awesome.
to a gig and wondering what you're going to eat a lot of the time.
Yeah,
You
or
know,
if
lots.
you're going to
Oh,
eat.
if yeah, because a lot of times it's just turn up and you got sound check. Oh, now we're on in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, man, I was getting a bit lightheaded on the Sandpiper show. I didn't eat much that day, and had that little burger before we went on, chicken burger, and it didn't. I think I needed more carbs, man. I was so lightheaded for that show. It was an
It
hour and
wasn't a
20
little
minutes
burger.
set as well.
Quite big. It was
But 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 have you realized that sometimes when you even feel your worst before you get on stage, once you're on that stage, something else
Yeah.
happens. It becomes something else. It's
Yeah.
like
Mm.
a different you is on stage, like an alter ego. You know,
Very much so,
totally
yeah.
different.
Possessed by
Like
the music for sure.
yeah, possessed by the music. Because I'm a very active performer. I dance a lot on stage, and
Mm.
I sometime in the past I sustained an injury, a knee injury, so I couldn't really walk properly.
Mm.
But I had a gig the next day, and I had to be on stage. Like I was really, really, really bad.
Mhm.
But once I got on the stage, I I I don't know. It's everything became perfect.
Absolutely. I
Like
wonder what your
pain,
thoughts are.
pain was gone and all that.
We talk about this a little bit sometimes, but the idea of the spirit of the muse, like I don't know, I couldn't confirm or deny or tell you really what I think if it's an actual thing or not, but there's certainly something to the idea of it. I think whether
True.
it's a metaphysical object or like a being or something, I don't know. I don't think I believe that, but there's definitely something to the idea of the spirit of the muse when you really respect the craft and the art, and it sort of comes to you. It's not like
Mm.
you're not like creating it. You're not, you know, it's not from your brain. It's like your brain's,
Following a pattern,
yeah,
like you're being guided. You understand? Like
exactly,
it's
yeah.
it's been predestined. You're just
Hmm.
following. It's that sense of deja vu. You understand? Like this, you
Yes,
know what you ought to do. You know the right things to do. Like the right things to say, the right notes to hit,
that's it.
and like an out of body experience. It's
Precisely
crazy
like that.
sometimes.
It's more like you're a terminal for the ideas and the music than
That's it.
trying to create them from yourself. Yeah, and that's when the best
That's
music
it.
happens. I think for sure.
True words. True words. True words. True
Absolutely.
words.
Callum,
It's
we've got
true.
time for two more. I think if you've got them.
What is it? I was going to say what's happened with Stevie at least twice now, where he's been like physically ill
Oh yeah.
before coming on stage, plays absolutely fine, like nothing's happened, and then the second he comes off, he's like just goes and throws up. Like
Yeah.
so,
We've had a few of those for sure.
yeah.
What was it? There's man, it's every other time. That guy's always ill.
It was one of the
So
Anvil
the-
shows, one at the Cobblestones, wasn't it?
He had like not a broken arm, but like because he went down on the skateboard, didn't he? Proper
Yeah.
like messed himself up.
Yeah. No, he
And-
fractured his arm, I think.
Yeah, he fractured his arm, but he was able to play the full set, and it was like a 45-minute, 50-minute set, wasn't it?
It was not easy to hold a
Quite
guitar.
impressed by that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also, yeah.
And he wasn't able to drive, but he could play guitar. Like it's crazy, isn't it?
Shit happens, isn't it?
We're back in the room. Yeah, that is proper wild, though, isn't it? I do think that is a pretty crazy thing to happen. All right, back to you, mate.
I'm dying again. Sorry,
Are you okay?
I'm just ill. I think Stevie's giving me his
Stevie's giving you the bug.
He
whatever
actually
it is.
has. Well, see, with that,
Yeah.
or obviously, I see like 100 people a day at work, and it's like,
Yeah,
eventually,
I'd rather blame Stevie. He's
Yeah.
not here to defend himself, so.
yeah, it's him. But now I've given it to all the
He's
old
part of
people.
the group.
yeah, he's our lead guitarist. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always ill.
Awesome.
Always ill. It's what he does. Right. What you got, Kel?
I say, is there any gigs that you've, or concerts, shows that you've been to that have like really inspired you?
Um, Not to sound too modest, but I was at a charity event, and it was actually a charity event for people with learning disabilities, and I was scared when I was booked for that gig because I didn't know what to expect actually, but I went there and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Like they didn't even want me to go. They didn't even want me to go. I felt the love so deeply. Like I was covered with their love. It was, I think that was the most beautiful experience I've had. The most beautiful one. And it's to cap it all that it was a charity, and it was just to make to give people something to look forward to, and instead they gave me something to look forward to. Instead they gave me a lot of assurance about my sound, about my message.
That's
You know,
fantastic.
they made me believe that I was doing the right thing.
hmm Again, it sort of comes back full circle to the conversation we're having earlier, that these kind of very much more, I suppose, they're intimate moments, but they're also on a level of multiple people, which is the strangest part about it. And the music seems like the vehicle for that, doesn't it? It's just
Yeah.
I'd say at that point in time, the best way to communicate between two people in the most intimate way possible. Yeah. Music being the vehicle. So that is amazing. Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
It's a universal language.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, you can go anywhere in the world and you can get people dancing. That's what it's about.
Yeah. The language of the soul.
Mm,
Beautiful.
absolutely. Callum, I'm going to ask for you to do one closer for us, mate, and then we'll wrap it on up.
Have I got to close it?
Oh, it better be a good one if it's a closer.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you stop?
No pressure.
What would you say is the best personality trait for someone to have to be like a touring musician?
It's a good one.
That's very good. That's very good. Basically, you have to be open. You have to be open. You should have a positive approach to anything. I've been on stage and someone came up to me. Well, he was a bit inebriated. He was a bit high. He came up to me on stage and that he could do a better job than I can. He took the mic, grabbed the mic off my hands. I was shouting at the top of his voice, and I was like, it's there can be moments like that too, just as there can be very intimate moments. There can be moments where people piss you off so much on stage and you're like, what's happening? Why am I here in the first place? You understand? Because you feel you could do way better than that, and you get into somewhere and you're receiving some kind of treatment that doesn't go down with you. So I think the best thing you should have is a positive mindset, a positive approach to everything, because you meet the good, the bad, and the ugly. So how you respond and not react, how you respond to these things is very important, because one, it builds character, it builds an image for you as an artist. You understand? You are, as an artist, you're a public figure, whether you like it or not. People are looking at you, people are looking up to you. So you need to represent. You're a star. So you need to shine. And despite anything that comes your way, you can't let anything dull your shine. So you should just have a positive approach to everything, especially when you're on the road. You're going to somewhere that you've never been to. For someone like me, I'm a black man, so I've been to some places where I've sang to bikers. Like the room was full with bikers, and I had this based on the movie we watch most of the time. We have this notion that bikers are very racist, based on movie. So, but I had my best time there. I
Yeah.
actually left the stage. I sat on the chair with them. We were drinking and I was singing. We were singing. I think that's what I'm gonna say.
Some of
I
our
had my best
best shows
moments.
have been at biker festivals where we
Yeah,
shout out to the Saran bikers and obviously the guys down in Poole and Devon and all that, all the biker lot. Every single time, because they look so gruff and built, and you're like,
yeah.
oh god, what have I got into? They're always the nicest guys, and yeah, they're all very nice and like they seem to be quite family oriented, which I quite liked as well. Oh, we're back.
Seriously, I was like, yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay,
There we go.
we're back.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And thank you again for coming on this evening. Really appreciate having you on here tonight. Callum, cracking
Thank you
question there,
so
mate.
much
That
for
was a good one.
having me.
That's
Thank you
good.
for having me.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your inspirational words as well, man. They're really good. So
As
appreciate
on
that.
Callum, so much. Thanks so much. I respect what you do.
Right at the end.
Are we
Yeah, he'll be
together?
back. There we go.
So what?
Yeah.
There we go.
No, we lost you for a second, but we're back in the room. Well, again, thank you very much. Where can people find you? Where would you like people to check you out if they're going to go listen to your music or follow you online? Where's best?
Just click on my link tree and you get all my links.
Fantastic. Cool. Keep
My
an eye out
news,
for Fred's upcoming
my
single in the next, was it
socials,
sort of
everything
6
is
to
on
8
my link
weeks?
tree.
Perfect. I think we've got a bit of a lag
Yes.
between us, haven't we?
There is a lag. There is lagged.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, thank you very much. Check out Forever by Fred Chike. Thank you very much, Fred, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I hope you've had a good time this evening, and we very much look forward to hopefully seeing you in person at some point. See you on the road, man. Absolute
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for watching this
Yeah.
evening. If you're watching from the future, thank you for watching from there.
Yeah,
We'll
man.
see you
Yeah,
all.
thanks so much, lad.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers.
Good night.
Cheers.
Good night.
Oh wait, I need it on
Bye-bye.
here. I need it here.
He's gonna get it.
I got it.